All right, good evening. We're going to get set for some football tonight. Let's do the Coach David DeMoss show, and play that one for you before kickoff at 7 o'clock tonight. Timberwolves against the Bearden Bears. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rick Godley, and I got the privilege to talk with Darbone Woods Charter School head football coach David DeMoss. We're going to visit in advance of tonight's game with Bearden. First of all there, Coach, congratulations on a victory last Friday night. Your first, and nicely done defeating Lincoln Prep.
I appreciate it. It was a good win. A win's always a good thing.
It is a good thing, and we'll talk more about the game. But first, I was very impressed. I know people were football hungry, but Darbone Woods, it was a great night, obviously weather-wise, but a great crowd. Were you surprised by the size of the crowd that showed up?
Well, with the weather the way it was earlier in the day, I was wondering how the crowd was going to be. But that's one thing about our fans. They're going to show up. They're going to be there in support if at all possible. So, when things kind of cleared up around 3 or 4 o'clock, I had no doubt we were going to have a good crowd there. So hopefully that's going to continue for the rest of the year. They always are there to support us. And, man, we definitely appreciate the fans being there.
It is a great fan base. Darbone Woods has a loyalty factor that I haven't witnessed, and other schools need to emulate. And so I'm looking forward to what happens Friday night. But let's go back to last week. There are things, and let's get real. It's the first game of the season. You're going to see some things you like. You're going to see some things you didn't like. Let's talk about the positives first. What did you like?
Well, the guys got out there and competed. Even when things, kind of didn't go our way, we had 3 fumbles on the night, and that's never ideal. But, they never gave up. The defense, I can't brag on them enough. They did a great job the other night of shutting down Lincoln Prep's run game and just kind of their game plan. Coach Lee did a great job of having those guys ready. And then just the way the offense competed, it could have been very easy to hang their heads. But they kept getting after it and, started out kind of slow, but they were right there before half. Got a couple more touchdowns on the board and then came out and kind of finished the game off in the second half.
Well, you brought up the defense, too. They have a knack for flying to the football. We saw that last year, and it's only getting better this year. Even with the loss of the senior leadership you had last year, you got some that are rising up and filling that void for you on the defense.
Right, yeah. Luckily, defensively, we lost one senior really off the defense last year, but we had a couple of juniors that did not come back this year that started last year also. So we got about 3 new guys out there, but other than that, we have a lot of experience on defense, and this really shows those guys get out there and they kind of know the plan, know the program, and just they like to get after it.
One of the things too, Lincoln Preps also is a young team, but at the same time, they had 2 or 3 real athletes that broke some big ones, but at the same time, as you mentioned, the defense bent, but it never broke. Right,
and that's kind of what we like to do. The type of game plan we usually go in. We're going to be a little aggressive, but we also want to make a team drive because more than likely, the more plays you make a team run, the more chances are for them to mess up and give us a chance to get the ball back. So there's going to be some big plays here and there. Like they had number 6, their running back. He was real good. We knew he was going to be tough to stop, and he was. It helped us out when he started kind of cramping up in the second quarter. That really helped us out because he was going to be tough to stop. The quarterback, he could run a little bit, and then they got number 1, the wide receiver, just throwing the ball up to him. He's going to be tough to deal with. So we did a good job of stopping them and, had some things go our way also, like with those guys cramping up a little bit, being the first full game of the year.
We're visiting with head coach of the Darbone Woods Timberwolves, David DeMoss, in advance of tonight's game against the Bearden Bears. 36-6, the final last week, gave you an opportunity early in the season to see some of the freshmen get in there, and they did pretty good. What grade would you give them?
I think the freshmen did a real good job getting in, even defensively again, they gave up the 1 score right there at the end, and funny story there, Coach Lee, he's going to get on to me about that because I made a sub there in the end, and, he kind of gave me a hard time about that. And I told him, Coach, hey, we'll still count it as a shutout. It wasn't against the ones. We'll be okay. But it's always good to get those freshman guys experience. We play JV games every week to get those guys experience. And I think we're doing a great job of getting them in when we can. We try to give them plenty of reps in practice so they're prepared to get in there in the game. So, that I think with the freshman sophomore group, the future's bright.
Sure.
Definitely.
Sure, for sure. All right, on the injury side, Dalton took something to the leg. No, it was his shoulder, wasn't he? So tell us about that and how's he doing? Because he didn't come out of the game. That kid's tough.
Oh, he's definitely one of the toughest kids we have. Not one of the biggest, but he's definitely one of the toughest. He kind of took a shot, I think, kind of right there in his elbow on the funny bone. He's been fine this week. He could have continued playing if we needed him to the other night, but once we got up 36-0, it was time to get some of them younger guys some playing time and not risk any unnecessary injuries.
Right.
So he's going to be fine this week.
All right, game number 2, Bearden Bears. The Bearden Bears coming into Darbone Woods. What do you know about them? I've tried to do some research on them. I couldn't find out too much. I know they had a victory last week. What can you tell us about them?
They're kind of an unknown for us. We'd seen them play Drew Central last year and kind of reached out to them. Coach Sharp had kind of reached out to them to schedule. I know in the past they've had some successful teams. I think they've been a little down here lately, but they're working on rebuilding. I think they kind of had a slow start to last year and picked it up as the season went on. And, of course, they had a big victory last week, 43-48-0 over Episcopal and Little Rock. But just not knowing much about the teams they play and who they've played, it's kind of hard to get a read on them.
Mm-hmm.
They got some guys that look pretty good on film that, going to be tough to stop.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time this week. Looking forward to going 2-0 on this coming Friday night. You keep up the good work, my friend, and we'll talk next week.
I appreciate it.
All right, there he is, head coach of Darbone Woods, David DeMoss. We're getting ready for game time. Stick and stay as they play. All right, there you go. You had head coach David DeMoss, and the music's cranking up. We're getting ready for kickoff here tonight at Darbone Woods, as Darbone Woods is going to host the Bearden Bears in the north end zone. Doing a little checkup here. Let's take a break and get ready for some football.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this season? Johnny's Pizza House is the winning play for every game day with our new Pizza Squad Rewards app. Download it now from johnnysph.com/app and get in the game with $5 off your first in-app order. Every order earns you loyalty points, so you can rack up rewards faster than a running back hitting the end zone. Save your favorite orders, track your deliveries, and enjoy exclusive offers, all at your fingertips. Visit johnnysph.com/app. Enjoy the Pizza Squad today. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice of game day glory.
Darbone Woods Charter School started small with a temporary location that was once a hardware store, but they built quickly and their outstanding students have been leading the pack with pride since 2009. Origin Bank proudly supports the Timberwolves athletics program. For more than a century, our trusted advisors have focused on building relationships and connecting people to their dreams. Every success has an origin story. Start yours today at origin.bank. Origin Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Tonight's Darbone Woods football game is brought to you in part by Washita